African Safari Wildlife Park is a wild experience with over 800 exotic animals. Our drive-through safari features giraffes, zebras, deer, elk, alpacas, and even a white bison, all of which you can feed right from your vehicle. Walk on the wild side with a Zoo-It-All pass and feed kangaroos, porcupines, tortoises, and rabbits. Step into our aviary adventure and hand-feed budgies for a memorable experience. Check out our live educational shows or ride a camel. Create memories that will last a lifetime at the Ohio Safari Park, African Safari Wildlife Park in Port Clinton.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the morning show right here on Main Street TV. And, of course, Jennifer here with her good friend who is back and rested and looking fantastic, Pete Wilson, to do the morning news update brought to you by Nia Henry, agent for Appalachia Realty. If you're looking to buy or sell, give Nia a call, 740-418-4135, and she'll work hard for you and help you with all your real estate needs.
Sure she will.
Yeah. So
That's
welcome
right.
back, Pete.
Mm-hmm.
He took just a little anniversary trip.
Okay, kind of.
Sorta. Kind of, sorta.
A little bit after the anniversary, but you know, that's when we could squeeze it in there.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
Hey, by the way, before I forget, because I don't want to get accused of forgetting, and I don't want to overshadow you, but I want to give a big shout out to my hubby, James, or Jamie, most people know him as Jamie, for putting up with me 21 years today. Woo, woo.
You've gone 21 years.
21 years.
That's definitely above the average, it seems, these days.
I feel like that, and so thank you, honey, for putting up with me all of this time, and he deserves a medal or something. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Okay, all right, well, very good. Well, I'm going to have to bring us all down now because I've got to lead off with kind of an unfavorable COVID-19 report.
Pete!
I know,
What the heck?
I feel like we're in the time machine, and because I hate to do this, but I believe it's necessary because we are purveyors of the truth, right?
For sure.
And I know the truth is certainly not black and white anymore. All you have to do is turn on the television to figure that out. But we'll try to be as straight up with you
We're going
as
to
you
tell
can.
you
We'll
the
try,
truth.
kind of
The facts.
Yeah, we'll tell you what everybody is saying. All right.
Okay.
All right, but some of the things are kind of statistical, so I think you can count on them. But right now, there are no major mandates that are in place, even though, you know, who knows, we may be heading that way. A lot of debate about that.
Yep.
But now, for some time, in case you have not heard, we'll reestablish this. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, that's the CDC, that's federal, recommends that everyone in this country who lives in an area where there is substantial or high transmission of COVID-19, and of course the big wild card now is the Delta variant, which seems to be highly contagious. Anyway, those folks should wear a mask in indoor public settings. Indoors is a lot of different places, as you know, Jennifer. And in case you have not heard, Jackson County is in that high bracket, high community transmission bracket. There are 4 categories: low, moderate, substantial, and high. And almost all counties in Ohio are now high. One of the counties that is substantial is neighboring Vinton County. Athens County, where Ohio University is, but remember, most kids not in school now, young men and women are not in school now. It is also substantial and not high. There are only 3 counties in the state that are moderate right now. Nobody is considered low. If you looked at the CDC color-coded map 2 weeks ago and you looked at it now, it is a sea of red. Red is high.
Yeah.
All right. And
I saw that the other day. Someone sent it to me.
So the COVID-19 high transmission rate put out as seen by the CDC is a serious thing right now. Of course, the number of cases are not like what they were in the teeth of what we went with before. Over the winter months, January, February, December were, of course, all very bad, into March even. But the cases are increasing. Right now, the Governor DeWine has not put down, a lot of mandates. But he's pointing to the CDC recommendations, and it seems like all the governmental people and some of the health are saying vaccinate, vaccinate, vaccinate. That is the thing to do.
Yep.
Because statistics are showing that while the Delta variant is the main reason for the increase in cases and it is highly contagious, almost everybody that is getting sick are people who have not been vaccinated.
Okay.
Now, it is not impossible, certainly, to be reinfected, even though
No,
you've had the vaccination. That's troubling.
You hear it every day. I have a friend right now that has COVID that worked in healthcare and is vaccinated. So.
Right, but it is, according to information put out by the CDC, as of August the 3rd, the Delta variant is responsible for 75% of the new COVID-19 cases in Jackson County. Our Trevor Bailey with the Telegram interviewed Health Commissioner from Jackson County, Kevin Aston, earlier this week. He says there are no hard empirical statistics that you can set down and say how much the Delta variant is here, but there are increased cases in Jackson County, and I think that it is a safe assumption that a lot of those cases are we can lay it at the doorstep of the Delta variant.
Okay.
Because the Delta variant is everywhere. People travel, etc. But there was another statistic that the governor put out at the end of last week, and this was where he's trying to beat the drums on vaccination. Of the COVID-19 related hospitalizations since January the 1st, this calendar year,
Okay.
Of the 18,662 people that have been vaccinated, or have been hospitalized, 18,367 were not fully vaccinated. So almost all the hospitalization cases are of the unvaccinated or partially vaccinated. Only 295 persons who have been fully vaccinated have been hospitalized. So, I mean, that's still...
those numbers are staggering.
That's still kind of a scary number. The 295, they
Sure.
were fully vaccinated, and yet they were hospitalized. But still, the great majority of the numbers there show that you are much more vulnerable. And that makes sense now. I mean, to anybody on any side of the spectrum, when you argue this thing or you try to figure it out, if you're vaccinated, you're much safer. And there's been a lot of, I don't know whether it's theory, or what you would call it, but there's been a lot of the health experts who feel that if you are exposed to the Delta variant, or maybe the old COVID-19 variant, that if you're vaccinated, you're not going to get sick or very sick at all. You might be a carrier or whatever, but you're not going to get sick at all. There's been many of the health experts who have said that. So in Jackson County, though, there are now 19 active cases of COVID-19. That was as of this Monday, August the 8th. To put that in context, back on June the 6th, that was the last time that the Jackson County Health Department did one of its regular reports.
Full months.
They were doing them weekly. So 2 months ago, there were 6 active cases, and they were declining then, and my guess is they went below 6 active cases after June. Now they are up to 19. Right now, there have since June the 6th, there has been 6 people hospitalized. Their deaths are not reported on this latest report, so I can't compare that. But obviously, the number of cases in Jackson County is increasing, and the same goes for Vinton County. In Vinton County, where the transmission rate is considered substantial rather than high, there are now 14 active cases in Vinton County. As of July the 26th, the Vinton County Health Department continued to put out weekly reports even though the COVID-19 had all but disappeared. There was only 1 active case back on July the 26th. Here, 3 weeks later, there are now 14 active cases in Vinton County. So that shows you that the numbers are climbing, and they're climbing everywhere, even in a lightly populated place like Vinton County, where you would figure that the chances for spread would be less because there are just not as many people gathering in one place and not as many people total in the whole county. So that's where we stand on the COVID-19 now.
Wow.
You can still get vaccinations. The number of vaccinations has gone up. Our associate editor, Phil Buffington, saw in Jackson County, remember we were stuck in kind of in the mid-30s for a long time.
Yeah.
It is now 38%. We'd like to see it a lot higher than
Yes.
no matter how you feel about, whether a vaccine should be mandated or not, most people will not step over that line. Some people think it should happen. It is still a good idea to do. I mean, the statistics say that. It's still a personal decision, but certainly if you're vaccinated, you give yourself protection and you protect others at the same time. And everybody, no matter where they stand on mandates, is saying that, whether they're government or health. But in Jackson County right now, if you do want to get the vaccine, you can go to the Jackson County Health Department or schedule an appointment on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. and from 1 p.m. to 3:45 p.m. on Tuesday or Thursday. You do need to schedule the appointment rather than just walk in. I don't know whether they can service you if you walk in because they need to be prepared. It's a small staff, but those are regular times that they're still doing it. Those vaccination possibilities and opportunities kind of went off the radar for a while because it got to the point where the COVID was declining so much and everybody who wanted to get a vaccine had gotten it.
Yeah,
so
you had the opportunity.
You didn't hear a whole lot about it, but now with the Delta 19 variant and the new statistics going up, the opportunity is certainly there now to get the vaccinations. It's just a simple call. The number at the health department is 286-5094 in Jackson County. In Vinton County, they're still doing vaccinations as well, and their preferred method of contact is through the coronavirus website of the state, where you can schedule an appointment anywhere, and that includes there at local health departments. And that's what Vinton County Health Department is suggesting you do if you want to get the vaccination in that county.
And I'm pretty sure that I saw as I drove by, I think it was Walgreens the other day, that they were advertising that they had vaccines. And so any of your local pharmacies, maybe check with them as well, if you can't make it to the health department at those particular times.
Right, exactly. Okay, well, we will go away from the COVID-19 now, but we're going to watch it because it's unfortunately, it's, you'd like to kind of just put your head in the sand and live a normal life, and hopefully we still can for the most part, but it is troubling. The problem with the Delta 19 variant is it is considered to be much more contagious than what we've already been through. And so once again, one of the dangers, the sneakiness, the evilness of this thing, if that's maybe not the right word to use, is that you can be a carrier and not know it.
Correct.
You can be asymptomatic, and that's where, all the debate comes in on the mask and so forth. And of course, on our local schools, it's been a big source of debate on what to do or not to do with the mask. Schools start next week in our local school districts across the board. 3 in Jackson County, 1 in Vinton County, and Vinton County just made a decision this week not to do the masks inside the school, except in the special situations. You always got to do them in the school buses. That's a given for everybody. That is required. But 3 of our school districts will be going without masks to at least start the school year. That is Wellston, Oak Hill, and Vinton County. The Jackson City Board of Education, in a split vote, voted last month 3-2 to do the mask. That was on the recommendation of Superintendent Phil Howard. And that was before really the Delta variant had kicked in fully to the extent that it has now. But still, at the last school board meeting, and then also at the Vinton County School Board meeting when they announced their decision on Monday night, there was folks who came to these school board meetings, and most of them were protesting or the use of the widespread requirement of use of masks inside the schools by students and staff, especially they're thinking of the younger students, I think. So that's where we stand on that. Yesterday, Buckeye Furnace State Memorial, it's off the beaten track. That is the worst thing about it. It's such a great place to visit.
It is beautiful.
But it is off the beaten track. You're on State Route 124. You're going about 7 or 8 miles east of Berlin there. That's the road to go to Wilkesville and Pomeroy if you go that way. It's the shorter but not the preferred way, I guess, if you're going to Meigs County from here. Most people go down 35 and then down 7. But on Buckeye Furnace Road, about 3 miles off 124, you turn on to Buckeye Park Road, and there is Buckeye Furnace. Restored charcoal iron furnace. It's beautiful. How they came up with the money and how that was done back in the 70s, I don't know, but it's beautiful and it's there. It's also a nice place to take a walk and tour. a lot of nice exhibits here. You would be surprised if you knew nothing about it and you visited for the first time. But anyway, the governor was there yesterday.
Yay!
Governor Mike DeWine, who does like to get out of the office, whether you agree with everything that he's done on COVID-19 and everything.
Hey, governors can take a trip too.
He does get out. He does get out. He likes to visit places, and of course, a lot of the nicety type visits he hasn't been able to do because of all the affairs of state. But to promote state parks and state memorials and like that, he visits them every now and then. And he was actually at Buckeye Furnace yesterday, and today he is going to be. There they are. This is a still picture that James Hamilton took yesterday. That is Governor DeWine on the left. If you're watching on not on television, but on our Facebook, and on any electronic device, that's Governor DeWine on the left. His wife Fran, who often accompanies him, standing next to him, and that is Jan McKibben, who is one of the caretakers out there, and that is Jim Meacham, who is one of the leaders of the Jackson Historical Society and the Friends of Buckeye Furnace. They're standing in front of the general store / museum there. So also, I think the governor came with his family.
Oh, my goodness.
The governor, I'm trying to think of how many children the governor had. I know he's lost one of them. He lost a daughter in a wreck many years ago. But I think he's got at least 6 children. And of course, some of those children now have their own children. And so he had a bunch of his grandchildren with him, as you can see. So they took a trip and stopped at Buckeye Furnace yesterday. We'll have a story in our Saturday paper, and we're also going to have some video coverages too. We'll have a little bit on the radio. But James Hamilton was there for the coverage yesterday, along with our own Alex Shope, who made his TV debut earlier in the week.
He did.
Okay. Well, anyway, we're going to see now a little video clip that James prepared of the governor's visit on yesterday.
Yeah, thanks to James. So let's roll that tape.
Ohio Governor Mike DeWine and his family visited Buckeye Furnace Historical Site on Wednesday, August 11th as part of a 4-day vacation tour of southern Ohio's parks. Jim Meacham, a retired geologist and president and treasurer of the Friends for Buckeye Furnace, took the DeWines on a walking tour of both the old pig iron blast furnace and the Buckeye Furnace Museum and General Store, where they learned the process of making iron and viewed the antique exhibits displayed inside the museum. During this trip, the DeWines also visited Hocking Hills State Park and Lake Hope State Park.
We've done this before. 2 summers ago, we were down in Portsmouth, stayed in a couple cabins there, and had a good time. And this was, this site was suggested to us. We always try to have something that's fun and educational, so it seemed like a good stop. Well, I learned something anyway.
DeWine was also willing to comment on Ohio's current status of fighting against COVID-19.
What's dangerous about it is it's so much more contagious.
Yes, and that's
so. I'm told by the doctors that the virus we had earlier, the coronavirus we had earlier, on average, 1 person would infect 2 people. Now we're at like 1 to 7 or 1 to 8. So it's much more contagious. So if you're vaccinated, you're pretty darn safe. If you're not vaccinated, you're not. We keep track of the number of people that have been in the hospital for COVID since January of this year, and about 98.5% of those people who have had to be hospitalized have not been vaccinated. So look, the way out of this thing is through vaccination, and I'm very concerned about people who are not vaccinated because of the Delta variant. It's just so much more contagious. So, I'm very, very concerned about it. We're not going to force anybody to get vaccinated. People have to make up their own decision or their own mind about that. But what we're trying to do is just make sure they have all the information about the vaccine, all the information about the Delta variant.
For more on this story, see future editions of The Telegram and thetelegramnews.com.
Great job, James.
Right, and we, of course, we'll have a report in Saturday's paper as well as some of those pictures that you just saw there. But it's good to get outdoors, right? And it's good for somebody like Governor DeWine to get out among them. And
Sure,
as I said, he
cooped up
does
in
do that.
in his office and that kind of stuff, and just to get out and breathe a little bit, and if nothing else, our part of the state is so beautiful, and it does give you the opportunity to get out and about and distance and breathe a little. So that's good.
Right, and exactly. Now today, the governor is going to be at Bellisio Foods. He's going to return to Jackson County.
Okay.
And that will be at 2 p.m. today. Our Telegram staff writer Trevor Bailey will be down there to see about that visit to Bellisio Foods. Of course, Bellisio Foods, of course, one of the county's major employers. I'm sure over 1,000 employees there.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens there, but that is also today. On Monday evening, Jackson City Council had a meeting. I know Phil Buffington was up here.
You must be sweet today.
I guess.
He's got a little fly friend.
Right. Yeah, we've
Sorry.
We've got him up here. But at the Jackson City Council meeting, of course, they acknowledged the death of Councilman John Peters, but other news happened there as well. And that was some public participation, some concerns of residents, and maybe they weren't all residents, but they are people who have a stake in the rules at Fairmont Cemetery, concerned about the enforcement of rules that have always been there about the decoration of graves and what is allowed and what is not allowed. And a number of people spoke, and at the end of the day, Ryan Peters, who is the chair of the city's service committee, stated that he would gladly take all these comments, concerns, and into consideration. He encouraged members of the public to engage council on such matters, especially prior to any rules and regulations being put into effect. That is another reason to keep up with the city council and what goes on, because sometimes if you want to have an influence in what council does or what the mayor and service director does, you need to be on the front end, not on the back end, after decisions have been made.
We'll be proactive, not reactive.
But, it is always possible to make changes. And I think that what Ryan Peters was trying to get across was, that they are going to at least consider what everybody is saying, and there may be people on both sides, often there is, and, they are going to try to be good stewards of what the public wants, if it's something, that can work with what the city needs to do as far as administrating the city. So the rules of the decorations at Fairmont Cemetery, it has become a problem. There's always been rules there about what you can do and not do, but they just have not been enforced over a long number of years. And it was brought up that this has become a problem for the city mowing crews. Randy Evans at a meeting earlier this year said that it got to the point where the city mowing crews were more like weed eaters than they were mowers, because they're working around so many of these bulky decorations. And of course, the decorations though are very important to the folks with loved ones there, and they bought that lot, and so you've got that side of the story too. And what happens if you were allowed to put it there and you weren't kept from putting it there? So anyway, that is a sticky wicket for the council, and no matter which way they go, they could probably be questioned on that.
Well, here's the deal. I don't know what the answer is, but I think a lot of the problem is people have planted, bushes and trees and whatever up there, and technically you're not supposed to do that. But on the other side of the coin, if you put something temporary up there, it gets stolen in 6 hours or less. So
there's been that complaint too.
It's like, I understand why people are planting pretty rose bushes and things up there I've heard of people digging those up too, but for the most part, I think people are doing that so that they can have something there that stays there and looks pretty versus getting stolen. And, so I don't know what the answer is, but I understand why people are doing what they're doing too. So I don't know. But I understand that it's tough to mow around as well.
Right, it is. And you're talking about a very, very big cemetery there.
It's huge.
You're talking about a reduced staff there from when Mayor Evans took over, kind of part of an efficiency move to try to, do things as cheaply as possible, staff-wise. And so, that plays into a little bit of the situation too. But I understand that signs have been placed on those graves that are considered to be in violation. And so there had always been, for some time, or at least for some time, a big sign at the entrance to the cemetery that people just ignored. Maybe they didn't know whether it applied to them or not. Maybe they didn't want to respond to it because it had been allowed. But now the next step is that notice signs have been placed on the individual graves that are considered to be in violation, and of course that has caught a lot of people's attention.
Well, good grief, that would be every grave up there.
Well, I don't know how many there were, but I know that Service Director Swackhammer, and I cannot remember the number, he did a little tour of the cemetery when this complaint first came up, or this problem came up, and he said that there were many of them. He used a number, an approximate number. I can't remember what it was, but
it was like hundreds.
It was over 100.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, turning to something lighter, this weekend, the Ohio Hill Country Festival, of course, is the first full weekend in September, and there will be royalty contests this weekend for the Little Miss for next year's Ohio Hill Country Festival, and then the Junior Miss. The Big Miss contest, which had also been held this particular weekend, has been postponed and rescheduled for the Ohio Hill Country Festival week. So we had reported previously, and this had been the custom, on this weekend in August, it's usually the third weekend in August, on Friday night, Little Miss, Saturday night, Junior Miss, Sunday night, Big Girls, okay? Or older girls, I should say. All right? They said big, so I can say big. But anyway, they're bigger than the other ones, all right? Okay, but anyway, this year, those contests have been shifted around a little bit. They will have the Little Miss contest at 7 p.m. Friday at Wellston High School. In Wednesday's paper, yesterday's paper, we do have pictures of the candidates. I believe there are 12 of them. And they will name 5 finalists who will advance to a second contest that will take place during Ohio Hill Country Festival week, which is, that first full week of September. And then the Junior Miss contest will be held Saturday at Wellston High School. That's at 7 p.m. However, the Big Miss contest, or the Queen contest, will not be held on Sunday as usual. They're going to hold it on Thursday, September the 9th, during the festival. It will be an added festival event. The girls that are going to be picked in these contests, or the finalists for these contests, will not be the royalty for this year. The royalty for this year was picked last year about this time. These girls will reign after the festival is over, starting late Saturday night. On Saturday night, September 11th. So kind of
like the Turkey Festival.
One of the final things will be these girls will be crowned and announced who the winners are. The contest will take place now, but they will not be crowned until September 11th. The royalty that was picked last year will reign over the festival this year. That is a little bit confusing, but that's the way it's always been done. All right. What else? On a sad note, we do want to report the death of a well-known Wellston resident, Ida Mae Crabtree. She passed away on Monday. Ida Mae was 89 years old, and she was one of the best-known educators for many years in the Wellston City Schools. I got to know her pretty good just doing my job because Ida Mae took a great interest in community, civic, and school affairs. She submitted things to the paper. She was interested in issues. She would call, and we would talk about things. She never stopped being interested even after she retired. Not too many years ago, she retired to Florida, and that was where she passed away on Monday at the age of 89. Calling hours for Ida Mae Crabtree will be this Saturday from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Williams Funeral Home in Wellston. Additional calling hours on Sunday from 12 to 1:30 p.m. Then a graveside service on Sunday at 2 p.m. at the Ridgewood Cemetery. Those additional calling hours, that's 12 to 1:30 on Sunday at the funeral home, and then a graveside service at 2 p.m. at Ridgewood Cemetery. So Ida Mae Crabtree, started out as a teacher in the Wellston City Schools, but then went into administration. I know she had a lot to do with curriculum decisions in the Wellston City Schools for quite some years. She was also very active in community affairs as well. 21 years as a teacher in Wellston, 10 years in school administration, a career school leader, and not just one who stayed behind the desk. She got out in the community and was very interested not only in the administration, but in the welfare of the students. I can say that for sure because I've talked with her about it. And she cared even after she retired.
She did.
Okay. There was a very special celebrity at Jackson High School yesterday, and Jenna is going to show us who it was, and we'll let you use. That is Pat Stevens on the left. He's a local celebrity, but who is that by Pat Stevens in the picture? Do you know?
I do know, and Jenna can witness because I said it.
Okay.
It's Cardale Jones.
That is the great Cardale Jones.
Yes.
Now, Cardale right now, he played pro football for
What's
a
he
couple
doing
of
in Jackson?
Well, he was there to speak to Jackson High School athletes. And of course, you know, football practices are, I'm sure he talked to the football team.
I'm
not sure
sure
whether he talked to other athletes as well. According to Pat Stevens' post, I've not talked to Pat. He talked to the Jackson High School athletes. So I'm not sure who all he talked
Cool.
to. But Cardale is there on the right. And he will be in Ohio State lore forever
Sure.
for what he did in the 2014 season. And he is also kind of like a testament, a role model for a lot of athletes who may not be in the best position. And then by circumstance, when you take the opportunity and you seize it,
That's
anything
right.
can happen. Started out the 2014 season, that's the third string quarterback.
That's right.
Behind Braxton Miller and JT Barrett. When both of those were injured late in the year, Cardale Jones became the quarterback. And the first game was the Big Ten championship game, and a lot of folks thought that Ohio State's goose was cooked.
That's
Because they had
right.
a third-string quarterback
Yep.
leading the way. Well, you know the story if you're an Ohio State
Yeah,
fan.
his nerves of steel kicked in, and he just won a national championship.
They swamped Wisconsin. He was the most valuable player in that game. Gus Jones, who was calling the game for Fox, gave him the nickname 12 gauge.
Yep.
Because he's got the big, strong arm there. He threw
Yep.
a bunch of long passes for touchdowns. They went ahead to beat Alabama and Oregon, defending
Yep.
champion Alabama and then Oregon, and he was the quarterback all the way. Got drafted by the Buffalo Bills, later played for two other NFL teams, and then in the XFL, he is a free agent now, I understand, but
Okay.
certainly young enough to maybe get back in it. We know he's got the physical tools.
Yeah.
But
He is
anyway,
a
he did share his
Large
time.
boy.
He did share his time with the Jackson
That's
High School
cool.
athletes, and I know he was at Rowdy's restaurant last year.
Yeah,
right?
he was. I think he was down here hunting maybe or something
Right,
and
right,
stopped in.
Right, and I guess that he knows Sheriff Ted Frazier.
Yes.
He was hunting on Sheriff Ted Frazier's land.
Yep.
Sheriff got him down here. He may have got him down here to speak to the athletes. And so
Possible.
Cardale was willing to come. So that was another little celebrity sighting in town
Cool.
yesterday. Some things to talk about this weekend. The Jackson Dog Pound will have its annual dog swim in Hillcrest Pool. I'm guessing that maybe Deb Fout talked about that when she was here.
She did.
Well, that's going to be this Sunday. We want to remind you, 1 to 5 p.m. That's a great thing to see.
It is.
It-
There are no words.
it really
It
is.
is one of the
You can-
funnest days of the year.
You can bring your dog and swim with the dog if you want. Of
Yep.
course, that's when they're going to empty the pool anyway because it's the end of the season.
Yep.
And the dogs usually just love it.
And the humans, it's just fun.
Right, and you know, they do ask you to make a donation. There's raffles out there. All proceeds of the event will go to the Jackson County Dog Pound. Also, speaking of pools, there will be a back-to-school splash party at the Margaret Ann Pool in Oak Hill. That is the village-owned pool.
Okay.
It's going to be Friday from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. There'll be inflatables. The Kona ice truck will be there. You can
Sounds
do
fun.
you can do a Dunka lifeguard opportunity, whatever that is. All students who attend will also receive a free bag of school supplies.
Nice.
The sponsors are Ohio Valley Bank, Jackson County Probate Juvenile Judge Justin Skaggs, and H&H Industries. Also on Friday, the Jackson Area YMCA, the ever engaging Tim Harvey, I'm sure, once again pushing the YMCA out there on the front porch so everybody can be part of it. That open house is open to both members and non-members and people who haven't been there. It's 4:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. He just wants you to see the place if that's all you're interested in.
Cool.
You can check out all the programs, the leagues, the areas, the programs that are taking place, the community missions, because Tim Harvey takes great pride in the YMCA being involved in the community and supporting the community. During the time of the open house, everybody who comes will be entered into a raffle where 3 different families or individuals will receive 4-month scholarships free of charge just for attending the open house. Once again, that YMCA is at 594 East Main Street. If you haven't been there before, just looking back of McDonald's and you'll see it there. That is 4:30 to 8 p.m. this Friday. So there you are.
Very good.
I'll head back downstairs, and I think our man James Hamilton is going to take over my seat. He's got some things to report.
He does.
Right. All right.
Well, thank you, Pete, so much. And
Okay,
of
well,
course,
very good.
Yeah, Pete's Morning News Update brought to you by Nia Henry, agent for Appalachia Realty. If you're looking to buy or sell or have any real estate needs, give me a call, 740-418-4135, and she'll help you out. All right, let's head on over to your Total Media Radio weather forecast. I'm kind of don't want to give it. So I feel like it gets worse every day. So here we go. They're saying basically today is going to be the hottest day that we've had thus far. Partly cloudy today, isolated thunderstorms, highs of 94, the heat index around 102. Yeah. For tonight, partly cloudy, a chance of thunderstorms, lows around 73. I'd be happy if the highs were around the lows, but that's just my opinion. Partly cloudy with showers on Friday, highs around 91, that heat index around 97. Ooh, it's going to be cooler. Mostly cloudy, thunderstorms likely overnight Friday, lows around 67. Then on Saturday, the good news is highs of only 82 degrees, but there is that stupid 40% chance of rain again. Hopefully we can get rid of some of this humidity though and move on. So, boy, oh boy, is it sticky out there.
Yeah, it's bad.
I mean,
It's
like,
real bad.
Yeah. Like you open up the door and it's like,
Yeah,
it's like a film.
Yeah, don't go outside if
No,
you don't have to.
just
Just
don't.
don't. Just
Like-
don't. Yeah. If you have to, I'm sorry.
Yeah, really. I was talking to one of the kids yesterday that, you know, they're doing band camp and all that stuff, and I was like, oh man,
Yeah.
having to play football and all of these things these kids are doing, their practices and
Yeah.
all that, and oh gosh,
Pretty rough.
I cannot
Next-
even imagine.
Next week is the start of football season already.
Is it really? Like high school football?
The 19th, Thursday the 19th is Jackson's first game, and then
Shut up!
Wilson, Oak Hill, and Benton County all play the next night on Friday.
That is insane.
I know. And it's probably going to be 95 degrees
The
for the poor
19th
kids.
is also the first day of school. Can you imagine having a football game on the first day of school?
No, I can't.
It's also senior night, because remember last year they had senior night
At the beginning,
of the
just
year
in
'cause they were
case.
afraid it was going to get canceled.
So wait a minute, the first day of school is on a Thursday?
Yeah, that happens sometime a lot. I feel like my mic isn't on.
Does that make any sense?
Slide up to turn on.
Maybe
There
it
you
was
go.
on. I don't know. But that happened a lot with volleyball. Like we would always have games on the first day of school.
Oh.
But yeah, I feel like most of the time school days start in the middle of the week, which is
Wow.
nice because you can ease into it, but
I guess.
I don't really know.
I think it's because the teachers come without the students for a few
For a
days.
few days, okay.
Right.
I guess
That's
that
just
makes
the way
sense.
it works out. Yep.
Whoo-wee.
Yeah.
Do you miss those days of having to go to school?
No.
I don't either.
No. I mean, every now and then you have a little touch of nostalgia, but for the most part, no.
Correct. Like, I just, God, no.
No.
I think back is like
Yeah.
PTSD.
Yeah. I mean, I don't miss like having 3 months off, but once
Well,
you're old
that
enough
and-
to like do anything on your own, you have to have a summer job anyway, so it's not that much
Right.
of a vacation.
Or having parents help you out along the way. I want to
Yeah.
go to the movies. I need some money.
Yeah.
Not like, I want to go to the movies. Oh, shoot, did I work enough this week to be able to
Yeah.
afford it?
But but if you are working and you're a teenager, you have to work Saturday night.
Right,
so you can't go to
exactly.
the movies anyway.
It all defeats the purpose.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, no. Wow, I did not realize it was that quick.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, we'll get to it, and hopefully the temperatures do come down. And I don't know how far my forecast goes out. I was looking to see.
Yeah.
They're saying Monday 84, Tuesday 85, Wednesday 84. So,
Yeah.
but chance of rain every single day.
Yeah.
That would be August that we
Yeah.
know and
Just
love.
gonna make it muggier.
Yeah, right. It's just gonna make it more sticky.
Yeah.
So the humidity has to be 1,022
Yeah.
right now. If that's possible, it is.
I don't know.
So,
Well, hey,
yes.
I have some suggestions for you to improve your real estate portfolio.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
So I gave Jenna some photos, and she's going to show us this house. Can you show us the exterior here?
Okay. I'm there.
So this really pretty kind of old-fashioned house.
Sure.
This is in Missouri. It's in Fayette, Missouri.
Okay.
Pretty house. So let's look at the living room.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Beautiful house.
Look at the ceiling and everything.
Oh yeah, that
The tray
you know
ceiling.
that light fixture in the middle. Beautiful dining room.
Yeah.
You know, we have another picture of the interior. Yeah, look.
Oh my
look at that.
gosh.
Really nice. But
Beautiful.
there's one real selling point for this home,
Okay.
and it's the basement. So this home features in the basement a full-size jail.
What?
So in addition to that beautiful home, you will also get a
Oh,
a,
that's almost creepy.
a full jail. It has 9 cells, a booking room, and a half bath.
Just one half bath?
Yeah, for all 9 of your prisoners.
Oh my God. I don't even know what to say about that. Well, I mean, it's pretty too, if
Yeah.
jails can be pretty.
Yeah. So this was
What?
so this was the sheriff's office that was originally built in 1875,
You're kidding.
and it's been on the market for about a year or so now.
It's beautiful,
Yeah.
though.
Isn't that a strange niche, right?
It would take a special kind of person. See, that needs to be an Airbnb or something.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
But I feel like there are a lot of small towns that don't have adequate jail space that would probably jump at that
I was
opportunity.
going to say,
right?
I mean, we're talking about expanding the jail here. I mean,
Yeah.
could you not just
yeah,
help a guy
right,
out?
right.
So, okay, what's the price?
So for just a mere $350,000,
Okay.
you could have that beautiful home and 9 jail cells.
I mean, the home is lovely,
It
so I
is.
could see it selling for that. But
Yeah.
so, do you think the jail cells are like a deterrent to keep it from selling because it's been on the market for a year?
I don't know. I mean, they keep saying that like the housing market is like ticking up, like it's a
Crazy.
seller's market right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, somebody's gonna want that. What happens when you go into your bank and ask for a mortgage to buy a small jail?
They send the appraiser out, and
Right.
you're like, yeah, there's a basement.
Yeah, it's a three bedroom, 2 bath, 9 cells.
He's like, I don't have any comps on that. I'm out.
Yeah.
So does that up the value or lower the value?
I mean, I feel like it ups the value, right?
I mean, it's definitely unique.
Dude, what a man cave would that be?
Oh my gosh,
Put your
yes.
70-inch TV in the jail cell.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, dude.
I feel like you could get really creative with that.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be great for like a haunted house or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it could probably pass as a museum. You know, get some historical stuff down there.
Oh, the stories those walls and cells
Yeah.
can tell probably
Oh,
too.
and man, the way you could freak out your friends when you have like some friends over. Like, hey, where's the bathroom? Oh, it's around the corner
It's
and down the
down
stairs.
the stairs down there
Yep.
through the first
Through the first
barred gate thing.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be fun to lock people in there? Just walk down
Oh,
and
yeah.
shut the thing and leave.
Yeah. Yeah. Just freak them out.
I can see. I hope they don't like sell that to a family where the little brother is gonna take, the sister down there and lock
Oh,
her up.
yeah. Dude, I would have done that to my sister. I'm
Right?
sorry, but I would have.
That is fantastic. I don't know. I mean, I would buy it.
Yeah. I mean, you split that into some apartments or
Sure, something.
Rental spaces.
You can go down. It's like Airbnb. You are in cell number 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Jenna's
All
not
for
liking it. She's cringing over there.
How about
a little
this? That'd probably be good for like a movie set or something like that.
It could be.
You gotta film like you're filming like a prison TV show or whatever. Upstairs is your offices and everything, and downstairs is your jail cell set.
I mean, I'm not against it.
Yeah, there are so many uses for a full-size jail in your basement, people. That's what I'm saying.
I mean,
that is the future of real estate.
I guess I could see, other than it's in Missouri.
Yeah.
Does anyone live in Missouri?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Does anyone want to live in Missouri?
How many people live in Fayette, Missouri, uniquely, but
let's find out.
Probably more people than live in Jackson, Ohio.
So
hey Siri,
it's really funny.
What's the population of Fayette, Missouri?
As of 2019, the population of Fayette was 2,689.
No, that's not very many.
That's not a lot of people.
It's pretty small.
Somebody just commented that it sounds like a Criminal Minds episode, and I was thinking that in my mind as you were
does.
talking about it, because there are
Yeah.
so many episodes where people literally have people like locked in the basement. in
Yes.
jail cells.
What about...
No,
like,
wait. I do have one question. Why, in a town with a population of 2,900 people,
Yeah.
do you need 9 jail cells?
Dude,
Why?
That's a rowdy 2,100 people.
I mean, what are they doing there?
I don't know. It's a rowdy bunch. They know how to
Anyway.
party in Fayette.
I guess.
So I'm wondering, maybe there's like a 50 Shades of Grey kind of thing going on there. That's
It's
his,
the local brothel.
Yeah, it's his playroom or whatever,
Ew.
whatever he calls it in that.
Yes. Just the room. I don't know.
The room.
It's just the room. The cell.
Yeah, the cell. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that make a good office, right? If you've got people that won't stop getting up and like chatting and stuff instead of doing work.
I mean, actually,
Just lock their cubicles.
right? You will come out at lunchtime and you will not take a
Yeah.
smoke break
Yeah.
until I say so.
Right, like every day at like 12, that buzzer rings
Yeah.
and the cells come open.
You can't
and
come out.
you get half an hour, and then you got to go back into your cell, and then again at like 5:30,
out
whatever,
again.
that buzzer goes off again, and they let you out.
And it's fantastic because there's social distancing.
Right. Yeah.
Like nobody's on top of
Right.
anybody else.
Exactly.
I think
so.
we've come up with a
Hey,
solution.
if you're thinking about like doing something to like increase the value of your house, like putting a pool or something like that, forget it. Jail.
Cells are the way to go.
Yep.
Rock on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pools are so like 90s.
Oh yeah, they're so
Yeah.
like 2000s.
Yep. Jail cells is the new way to go.
Pools are so last year COVID.
Yeah. But so people on Facebook comment like, what would you do with that
Yeah.
house with
What
9
would you
jail
do?
cells? I want some creative ideas.
I like the office space the best. I think
Yeah.
that's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of people probably already feel like their office is a jail.
I know. You
Yeah.
may as well just be in
yeah.
one.
Yeah. It may as well.
Huh. So you could live upstairs, work downstairs?
Yep.
Fair enough. I like
Or,
it.
if you're working from home and you're easily distracted, like you're supposed to be in your home office, but you just keep like turning on the TV or whatever, just lock yourself in there. And let your spouse
Just be like,
give
"Honey,
your spouse the key.
come
Be like,
get me in
"Don't-
2 hours."
Don't let me out
Yeah.
until I finish my work.
It's not
Even if I
bad.
start banging a tin cup against the wall, don't let me out.
Just shaking the key ring.
We actually just got a really smart comment. So Josh Willett said it could be an escape room.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
That's so good.
Yes.
That's a money-making idea, too.
That's right.
I don't think I would like escape rooms. I think I'd have a panic attack.
I wonder about that because I'm
Yeah.
very claustrophobic, but I love that kind of stuff, so I think it would be a blast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it does worry me that, like, is there a safe word where you can, like, run
Yeah.
out?
I don't know. Have you seen the episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia when they go to an escape room?
No.
And instead of trying to do the puzzles, they just destroy it, just rip everything apart.
No way.
And they're
That's
too dumb
horrible.
to like understand what the clues are and stuff. It's so funny.
No, I think it would be fun, but I would need to know that I actually had an out if I started to like really get anxiety.
Yeah, I think they do.
'Cause
I've done 2 escape rooms.
Oh, you have?
Yeah. They usually, if you either don't
If you
get it
start
in time,
crying
if
and
you start-
pounding on the door,
yeah,
they let you
they'll
out.
let you out. Like it's, it's
they're
usually,
not like that sick.
Yeah, no, it's usually pretty chill. I've gotten out of both of the ones that I've done though.
Okay.
Not to brag. You always have to do it with like a big group of people though. Like that's the best way.
Yeah.
Okay, but is it hard? Like, how do you herd the cats to get all the clues and stuff? Because I feel like everyone would just be like, I don't know what's going on.
Most of the time you look in really obscure places, but also usually there's someone overseeing your game, like while you're in it, and they come over the microphone and they give you hints.
Oh.
Most of the time you get like 3 or 4 hints, and then after you use all of your hints, they start taking time off the clock.
Oh. So I know I was talking to one of our staff members at the restaurant, and he was saying that he went to one, and this would freak me out though. It was like zombies chained to the wall, and they kept getting closer to you. That would be so distracting to me. I would be like...
Have you seen like the zombie runs and like 5Ks and stuff like that? I could not do that.
Would it freak you out?
It would, yeah. I could not do that. I don't think I could do the ones where they like run through mud and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Either.
That would be
it's
tough.
hard enough to run.
Just to run.
To run like 4 or 5 miles or however long that is. But like throw in somebody dressed like a zombie chasing you?
No, thank you.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I just don't.
Or the ones where they throw like colored chalk dust at you.
Yes, the
like,
color
okay,
runs.
well, just like let me inhale some like toxic dust while I'm like
as
dying
I'm running
from
down
running.
and people are pelting things at me.
Oh, no, thank you.
So I mentioned today was Jamie and I's anniversary, and so I have to tell this funny story now that you say this. So you know how people throw rice at weddings or birdseed, right? So I thought I was going to outwit everyone. So I, at the end, you know, when we walked out, I was like, I don't want rice or birdseed. Well, rice is bad for birds.
Right.
So then everyone went to birdseed. But, you know, you see these videos of people just winging birdseed at people, and it like hurts,
Just
right?
with it.
Yeah. So I said, I told the florist, I said, I want just a bunch of rose petals so that when we come out, people can just kind of, you know, kindly toss the rose petals. And this is what was happening in my mind.
Yeah.
As we walk out, it was very romantic, and these rose petals were drifting from the sky and all that. Oh, no. They just wadded rose petals up in their hands and wung those
like
at
a
us.
snowball.
So we just got pelted by rose petal wads.
That's what I would have done.
I'm like,
that's exactly where my
this
mind
is
would
not
have
what
gone.
I wanted. But I wasn't like Bridezilla or anything. Like, I cracked up. But I was just like...
The woman that wanted to be showered with rose petals wasn't a Bridezilla.
No, I just didn't want to be like, you know...
Right. Yeah.
Destroyed by something.
Most of the weddings I've been to recently do bubbles.
Yeah, bubbles would be... that would have been...
Just as long as you don't take one to the eye.
Yeah, a bubble in the eye is kind of soapy.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so that was my backfire experience of the... Yeah.
Back on the 4th of July when I think Dave Channel was here, he talked about those Chinese lanterns. How you're not supposed to set those off.
Don't do those, yeah.
So I went to a wedding a few years ago and they released those, like at the end of it. They did not work very well.
What happened?
I mean, I think they only got like one of them to actually take off. The rest of them just caught on fire on the ground.
Well, you get what you deserve because those things are dangerous.
Yeah. Well, I also think they bought them from like Oriental Trading or someplace like that.
The Yankee
so
Trader.
Right. They were not a high quality product to start with.
Yeah. They spontaneously combust before they take off. So, well, do you want to hear about someone that isn't very smart as well? Speaking of, and I saw this the other day. There was a woman, firefighters had to rescue a woman last week in Alabama because they found her, she was swimming.
Yeah.
And they had to rescue her, which happens all the time, you know, people get...
I know what happens to me. No. Just every time I get in the water, just straight down.
Well, I was a lifeguard, I'll get you.
Yeah, okay.
few years ago. What did I tell Alex the other day? It's always a couple years ago.
Yep.
It doesn't matter how long it was always a couple years ago.
It was always back in the day.
Yeah. So this unidentified woman broke a fence barrier in Athens, Alabama. Are you ready for this? She had to be rescued. Climbed a ladder to a top of a 70-foot high water tank and jumped in. 350,000 gallons of water. The hatch of the tank was not secure and it closed behind her after she went inside. Luckily, a neighbor across the road witnessed this dumb lady climb up and get into the tank and called the police, and they were able to rescue her.
Yeah.
She would have been dead and never found again.
Yeah. I can definitely see in my younger days my friends being, hey man, crawling that big bucket of water over there.
I could totally see somebody doing that, but number one, not alone. Like, how high are you that you
just
thought that was a good idea?
Somebody else like peer pressuring you into it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like 70 feet in the air. How like this room is what?
Like maybe 20.
25 maybe.
Yeah, probably not even that.
So 3 of this room high. 350,000 gallons of water. Luckily, she was just swimming in there.
Yeah.
She wasn't worried. She was just swimming. They managed to persuade her to leave the tank, and then they used a harness to bring her down safely. Can you imagine going home and having dinner with your wife and her being like, "What'd you do today?" And you'd be like,
I don't know. She probably didn't make it home for dinner that day.
No,
she probably spent
I'd say she spent some time in that
Spent
jail
some time
cell
in that
down in the
jail
bottom
cell,
of
yeah.
in Missouri. Yeah, something like that. But yeah, don't do that. That's not.
I mean, if you're going to do that, at least get it on camera.
I know. At least like Snapchat it or whatever, so that people know where you are.
Just encouraging people to do more dumb things. Got to do it for the gram.
That's right.
Yeah.
No, you hear all of these horrible stories. I feel like there's one at least once a week about these like Instagram influencers that die because they standing on cliffs and waterfalls and stuff and take pictures and fall off.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm sorry, there's no picture worth dying over. So, all right, one more thing.
Uh-oh.
Would you or would you not eat this? This has already happened, so we can talk about it. But actually, no, it is today. That's right, because I saw it on the news this morning. I'm sorry. Yes. Well, if we can get to the Field of Dreams.
Oh, in Iowa?
Yes, it's in Iowa. They are having a ultimate.
Major League Baseball.
They're doing
game.
a Major League Baseball game there at the Field of Dreams.
Cool.
It did look
Looks
really
cool.
Beautiful. So Guy Fieri, Mr. Dine-Ins, Drive-Ins, and Dives, has created a hot dog especially for this game.
Yeah.
And I just don't know how I feel about it. Did you see it?
Well, it looks like it's a Pop-Tart with a hot dog in it.
It is.
It sort of looks like a McDonald's apple pie, but with a hot dog in it.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. I don't know how I feel about this. An apple pie hot dog.
Yeah, I'm for it.
And that's what they're going to...
So, I'm in the bag for whatever stupid thing Guy Fieri wants to do.
I know, right? I feel like anything he does is probably going to be pretty good. He was inspired by a famous 1975 Chevrolet commercial that had people singing, "We love baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet." So he mixed it all together.
Yeah, so it has gasoline in it? Is that what you're saying?
No, there's no car in it.
Oh, okay.
So the apple pie hot dog ingredients are, just in case you want to make one tonight, in honor of the game. But no, that is so cool to have that Field of Dreams.
That's beautiful.
Still there. It's gorgeous. And they were interviewing the farmer that owned the property at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And he said it was just, even when they were filming the movie, it felt magical. And he said when all the cast left, they were like, please don't get rid of this field. There's something about it. And it's become this, obviously ginormous, like, tourist attraction. But everyone that goes there says it's just magical.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, they've really ramped it up and redid it, and it's been since sold. But they are having a major league game there today. Was it Yankees?
The Yankees and the White Sox, and then I
Sox.
think there's 2 National League teams that are going to play on it also.
Okay. So Guy Fieri comes up with the apple pie hot dog. It is pie crust dough, apple pie filling, lightly mashed with a fork, bacon jam, which I'll give you the recipe for here in a minute, an all-beef hot dog, Demerara sugar. I don't know what that is. I'm embarrassed to say. Demerara sugar.
I don't know.
An egg, apple pie spice, and apple mustard. So that is
Apple mustard.
Yes,
I'm
apple
familiar
pie
with
hot
that.
dog recipe. Apple mustard is apple pie filling and yellow mustard mixed together.
Okay. That's an interesting combo.
Yeah. Bacon jam. You hear bacon jam a lot. Applewood bacon, brown sugar, honey, apple cider vinegar, freshly ground black pepper. And then there's instructions as well. But the apple mustard, you just puree the ingredients in the blender. So anyway, yeah. So if you want to get to Iowa, do we have time to get to Iowa?
Yeah, I mean,
How long's Iowa from here?
he had time to drive from Iowa to, Massachusetts and back in the movie, so we've got time to do that.
You know I've never seen that movie.
You should probably watch it.
I probably
it's
should.
pretty good.
Yeah. That might be what I do tonight.
10 hours and 4 minutes.
10 hours. Ooh.
Do it in 2 parts, maybe.
Yeah, but are we going to get there for the game?
I mean, as long as they're not sold out of the apple pie hot dogs, it's all right if we miss a little bit of the game.
That's true. We
Yeah.
could get there halfway through the game and it would
Yeah.
probably be okay.
Yep.
We just need the hot dog.
Right.
I
mean,
would totally eat that though.
Yeah, it doesn't look that bad.
I'm
And like
sold.
I said, I'm kind of in the bag for all the stupid things that Guy Fieri does.
Heard. Yeah. Well, anyway, if you want the recipe, it is online. Very nice printable version. 2 pages because it gives you the ingredients and
Yeah.
how to make all of them.
Yeah, and it doesn't have 6 paragraphs of somebody talking about how this recipe reminds them of going to their grandma's house when
So
they
that-
were a
yeah.
child or whatever.
So that they can put ads.
So
on-
they can put more
ad
ads in
space
there.
Yeah. No, this is just the recipe. Thank you for doing that.
It's just got the one ad for Chevrolet at the top.
Yeah, just says it's the Chevrolet apple pie hot dog.
Yep.
That's where they come in. It'd be fun if they cooked them on the block
Oh,
of,
yeah, cook it on
a
the-
57 or something.
Yep.
Can you imagine?
Yep.
So anyway, that game is tonight. I'm sure it will be on television, and if nothing else, just to see the beauty and splendor of that field in the midst of all of the corn and whatever, I think would be worth it.
Yeah, it's really cool.
2 teams can't stand each other,
limited
so
seating. People were, I guess they only opened up seating to people that lived in that general area,
they did.
and people threw a fit about it.
It was like a lottery thing too.
Yeah.
Because there's just a few bleachers
Right,
there.
yeah. It doesn't have anywhere near as many seats as a real major league
Yeah.
stadium.
What a neat event to say that you were actually there
Right.
and be part of.
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So,
Traffic's probably going to be a nightmare getting
I
out of there, though.
would say you're right. Absolutely. So, would you like this? You want to go home and make it?
Oh, absolutely.
I expect you to make
I
it and report
100%
back.
have the patience to make this.
Maybe I could go to the restaurant and be like,
Yeah.
"Here, guys,
Yeah.
whip this up
You
for
guys
us."
you guys have these things back there, don't you?
Most of it. I
Yeah.
still don't know what demus. How do you say that? What is?
Demera. I don't know. My mom would probably know.
DEM
Mom, are you watching? Tell us what that means.
ER Demerara sugar. I'll bet you it's a course. It is
Thank you for tuning in to Googling Things with Jen.
correct. It is from. It looks like it's from Mauritius. It's like a really coarse.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really coarse brown sugar. So there you go.
Mystery solved.
Now you know that you probably don't get at our local Kroger.
I don't know. You might be surprised.
I doubt it. Maybe Big Lots. They're like our
You think
gourmet store in town. Yeah, it's kind of wild.
That's news to me.
Oh yeah, they've got all kind of weird stuff there. It's pretty
Interesting.
cool. So, but yeah, Amazon. Try that. Okay. Well, we need to get out of here for the day.
I think so.
Yeah. So thank
If
you.
there's anybody's still watching, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for continuing to tune in as we Google things and
Yeah.
talk about jail cells
Talk about sugar and
and sugar and
jail cells. And,
dumb A's swimming in
Yeah.
water tanks.
yeah.
So you will not be here tomorrow.
No.
So tomorrow is our sweet Jenna's last day as intern here. So we are, in honor of her, forcing her to do the morning show.
Yeah. Yeah. We're going to make her do a couple weeks worth of work so that we have time to adjust in to not having her here to do all the things for us.
Correct. Like, I'm sorry we have a ginormous scroll of things
Yeah.
for you to do tomorrow, but yeah. So come prepared. All right. She says yes.
Good deal.
So, all right. Well, thank you all for tuning in. We
Thank you.
appreciate it. We hope that y'all are still watching and that you've, laughed a little today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Have a great day. Have a great day
too.
tomorrow.
Thank you.
Headed to the zoo.
That's the plan.
Should be fun with your
Yeah.
little nephew.
Hope
What
so.
a blast.
Yeah.
Yep. Through the eyes of babes. So, we will see you right back here tomorrow on Friday. So until then, have a great day. Stay cool out there. Bye-bye.
Have a hot dog.
Hot dog. Apple pie.